Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be letting haters diminish you. Well, I've got an email here from a viewer. He's obviously kind of young, and he has a kind of situation that I know, at least this is the kind of shit that I dealt with when I was his age, when I was younger. And so he got himself into a situation where he was hanging out with a girl. He had a great opportunity to lose his virginity and have a great experience, but he basically fumbled the football. And so what he did was he talked to one of his male coworkers, asked his opinion, and told him the story. And the guy basically said, yeah, you pretty much fucked it up. And then on top of that, he proceeds to tell everybody that he works with what happened, make him look like a pussy by building himself up. He got ridiculed so much there, people started telling him he was gay. And then his brother also happened to work with him. So his brother goes home, starts sharing this stuff with his family. And so now everybody in his family is teasing him. And he's feeling really depressed and upset, when in reality, he should be proud of the fact that he's making progress. It's all it's like you can't always change what happens in life. Sometimes just shit happens. It's totally out of your control. And despite your best efforts, things don't work out the way you expect. Well, the only thing you really have control over in those particular situations is the meaning that you give those events. In this particular event, he could have looked at it in a positive light, but obviously he chose not to. And on top of that, he shared things in confidence with somebody who obviously wasn't a real friend because of how this guy behaved and what he did to him after the fact. So it's also another reason why you should not be sharing, and women like it this way, not sharing the intimate details of your hookups or your previous relationships with other people or people that you're dating, and share those things with other people that you know, because it just, like in this particular case, this is like the extreme of what can happen or what can go wrong when you start sharing details of your personal life with other people. So I have a quote that I wrote in this particular topic, and then we're going to go through his email. And the quote says, "The world is mostly full of people who are too weak to believe in the beauty of their own dreams and take the required action to make them a reality. Deep down, everyone wants to be successful and reach their full potential, but most people are run by their fears and therefore spend their lives trying to avoid things that make them feel uncomfortable or experiencing failure. Successful people know that being uncomfortable and experiencing failure is a necessary prerequisite to achieving their goals and dreams. If you make the choice to be one of the rare few who is determined to reach their full potential, you're going to have to deal with weaker people who are going to hate and project their own weaknesses onto you in an effort to make themselves feel better about the fact that they are doing nothing to help themselves become all that they are capable of becoming. Otherwise, it's impossible to achieve your outcomes if you allow other people to diminish and discourage you from doing what you know you need to do." And obviously, in this particular case, that's what this guy is experiencing. He's allowing outside external influences, especially because they're close to him and they're in his inner circle, things they're doing and saying to diminish him and get him off track, which is becoming his reaching his full potential. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hey Corey, I have an ironic situation that I need to fix. I'm a virgin and I had an opportunity to have sex with this girl, or so I believed. I read your book 9 times, and going back and looking at it, I believed I missed a chance to fuck her. I did that plenty of times when I was young, my teenage years, my early 20s. I didn't really know what to look for. And when you're in that kind of a place where you're kind of afraid and you're embarrassed, you got guy friends that are getting laid and they're sharing their experiences, and 1 or 2 times you say, hey, this is my problem, or hey, I want to lose my virginity, or this, they just, most of the time they laugh at you and they make fun of you because it makes them feel good. And so when you're scared and you're insecure about this area of your life, I mean, because really, no guy wants to admit that they struggle with women, or they don't understand women, or they don't understand why things happen a certain way with women. And times like these, the guy's putting himself out there, he wants to be vulnerable and like look to another guy who he may look up to for help, and all the guy does is uses an opportunity to totally destroy him, tear him down, and make himself feel better about his own fucking shitty life. He says, I asked a coworker his opinion, and he laughed at me and said, yeah, you pretty much fucked that up. Okay, so the guy was brutally honest. If he was a real friend, it should have never gone any further than that. But obviously he wasn't a real true friend. And it's like, when you're young, you don't know these things. You think, hey, he's a guy, we work together, I can share things in confidence, and he's going to be cool. And then you go and you share these things, and the guy does exactly what this jerk-off did. He started telling everyone at work that I'm gay and told them the story. Yeah, great friend. And it's not until you get older and you go through some situations like this, or difficult challenges in your life or your career, or a bad breakup, and you realize who your real friends are. I can count my real true friends on one hand. When I was younger, when I was this guy's age, I had dozens and dozens of friends, or at least people who I thought were my friends. And as I got older, you start to see they really don't give a fuck about you. And it's not until you get older and you have experience that you really start to value those kind of close, tight-knit friendships. He started telling everyone at work that I'm gay and told them the story. Everyone started saying I was gay. At first I thought it was funny, but after a while it started to wear on me. In other words, you allowed it to diminish you. But at the end of the day, everybody starts out as a virgin. And I didn't lose my virginity until I was 21, and it wasn't a very fun experience. I'm not looking back at that going, wow, what a great memory that was. It was weird. It was awkward. It was uncomfortable. I had guy friends that were with me on this particular trip. We were all the way on spring break. And obviously they found out what was going on and what happened, and these guys were getting laid, and several of them had been with several women at that point, so they had experience. And probably had sex dozens of times at that point, or I didn't have any. So, of course, I was cannon fodder for them to be laughing at me. And I got teased relentlessly about it, but at least I finally lost my virginity, and I didn't have to hear that shit anymore. He says, I started getting insecure, and people started to eventually say, I look gay, I talk gay, I walk gay, blah, blah, blah. Definitely not a fun environment to go to the office where everybody's teasing you about that. I ended up quitting the job, and it doesn't help that I work my brother because he told my parents what happened. Nice. Now you got a brother that's a dickhead. So you're working with an asshole, and then your brother also basically is an asshole. Makes himself feel better by tearing you down. But what's the good news? What's the good perspective here? You're the guy that's reading self-help. You're the guy that's trying to better himself while everybody else is laughing at you. A real true friend and somebody that really cared about you, somebody who's a real ally, would say, hey, dude, don't worry about it. It's fucking great. You almost got the opportunity. Now all you need to do next time you're in that situation is to not do what you did, fuck it up. And then you'll eventually lose your virginity. You might look at where you are right now and say, you know what, fuck, I'm still a virgin. This sucks. But you keep focusing on self-help. You keep applying the things that you're learning from me. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you'll be successful. You'll have a gorgeous woman in your life. You'll have a great relationship or great relationships if you decide you want to date around and play the field or whatever kind of lifestyle choice you decide to make. You'll be working at something that you love. You'll be very happy. You'll be making a shitload of money at it. And where are the rest of these people that are laughing at you and tearing you down? What do you think they'll be? Fat, unhappy, miserable, out of shape, not very happy people. And they'll be looking at you going, damn, look at you. So you keep focusing on yourself and make a great life for yourself, and fuck those other weak-ass people. You got to get good at tuning these people out because they're fucking everywhere. Most of the people that you're going to encounter in life are like this. That's the reality of it. That's why, again, title of my book, How to Be a 3% Man. It's becoming something that very few men and women are willing to become and do the work on yourself that's necessary to become that successful. And even when you become really successful, you're still going to get the other people that aren't successful, that don't have money, they're going to hate on you and try to tear you down because it makes them feel better about the fact that they're not successful. So the more successful you become, the more you're going to see the haters reveal themselves, and they're fucking everywhere. He says, so now my parents are saying I'm gay. Actually, my whole family. I hear them talking. They even started asking me when I'm going to come out. It's gotten to the point where I go about my daily life and look at people, and I feel like they think I'm gay. Dude, you're totally allowing this situation to diminish you. What you need to say to your parents is, Mom, Dad, I love you, But saying I'm gay all the time is not appropriate. You're supposed to be my parents. You're supposed to love me and support me and build me up. Not here trying to make me feel like a piece of shit when I come home every day. So if you don't have something nice to say, then I would prefer that you keep your opinions to yourself. Because if you keep on the path that you're going to keep on, eventually I'm going to leave, I'm going to move out, and we're not going to talk. Because if you can't be supportive and loving and be a good parent or good set of parents, I don't need this bullshit in my life. You're not helping me in my self-esteem. You're not helping me become more confident. You're not helping me become the man I'm capable of becoming. Actually, the way you're behaving right now, you're actually getting in the way of me reaching my full potential. And that fucking sucks. It's not appropriate. So I would appreciate if you talk to me in a loving and a kind manner and build me up and say positive things instead of me being your kicking boy. I mean, this is bullshit. Loving families don't treat each other this way. And if this is the way you guys are going to treat me going forward, I don't know that I want to be a part of a family like this. This is not something to come home and be proud of. Someday when I bring a girl home or my wife home or my kids home, I don't want you guys tearing them down. Because if that's the way you're going to be, you're not going to be in my life. That's just the way it is. It's not cool. At this point, it needs to stop. I had to have that conversation with my father when I was in my 20s. And he cut it out. Because he knew I was fucking serious. He says, I get weird looks, people saying ew, and people saying I'm gay. This all happened in the span of a month. Well, you've adopted this as your belief system. What you observe, you participate in. So you observe all these people, you don't stand up for yourself, and you start participating in the label that they put on you. Now you're starting to believe in it. Now it's your focus. Your brain is going to give you whatever you focus on. If you're focusing on the fact that you think people think you're gay, instead of when you see a woman you like her, you ask her out, which is what you were doing before, you got to practice the fundamentals. It's not about committing to a goal. It's about committing to a process. The goal, obviously, in this case, is you want to lose your virginity. Don't focus on losing your virginity. Focus on the process that you need to be involved in day in and day out to eventually get the kind of woman in your life that you want. So you can eventually have the kind of relationship that you want. Because when you focus on that, when you focus on becoming the kind of man that you're capable of becoming, when you see a pretty girl, getting her number, asking her out, going out on a date, improving your skills, eventually, when you focus on the process, you will get there. Focusing on the goal, like what you're doing, it's not helping you get there. Focus on the process. So he says, I get so uptight when walking or even talking, I second guess the way I walk or talk. It's overwhelming me and I need to fix this now because girls that even look at me say I'm gay. So when a girl goes, are you gay? Why don't you kiss me and find out? Do that with them. And if they giggle and they laugh, say, hey, it's okay if you're a shitty kisser because, I got about 20 minutes so we can practice making out for the next 20 minutes. And, I hope you get better. And you know what? When I got some more time, we can get together, maybe have dinner, maybe do a little kissy poo later. I promise by the time we get all said and done, you're going to be a great fucking kisser and you're going to love kissing me. So why don't you get it over with and kiss me right now? You've got to be able to come back with shit like that when women throw those kinds of things in your face. Worst thing you can do is participate in the level that they're trying to bring you down to. Bring a higher energy. Bring a higher vibration to that level. He says, I literally hear them. Again, this never happened before, this whole situation. I don't know if it's because when I interact with other people, I fear they think I'm gay or what, but this shit got me depressed. I need to know what to do. Focus on the process. You need to ask out 100 different women over the next 30 days. That's 25 women per week. So you should be putting time in your schedule to go to the mall at least 2 days a week for 2 to 3 hours at a time and ask out 12 to 15 different women each time you go. You do that, within a month's time, you'll have plenty of girls that you're going out with, and then all those friends and family that are putting you down, they won't be able to say shit to you because you'll be going out on one date after another. And when they ask you, hey, what's going on? Who's this girl? It's like you say, it's none of your business. Gentlemen, don't kiss and tell. If you're worried about what's going on in my personal life, you know what? You need to focus on your own life. So when your brother busts your balls, just say, hey, dude, it's not my fault that you can't get a girl to go out with you. I'm doing really great. If you hadn't been a dick about it, I may have been willing to teach you the things that are making me so successful now. But instead, you're being an asshole. You're not being a good brother. So, hey, And by the way, I gotta run. I gotta get ready for a date. He says, I definitely don't want females thinking I'm gay, man, or anyone in general. Well, then don't act gay. Ask women out. Go out on dates. That's the best medicine. Focus on the process. What do you need to be doing? You need to be asking out 25 different women per week. I'm starting to believe what people are saying about me and shit. It's fucking killing me, man. Just like Dale Carnegie said, inaction breeds fear and doubt. And obviously what all this has done is caused you to stop taking any action. Well, if you're not taking any action, what are you doing? You're putting yourself into a fearful state. And your fearful state is that people are going to think you're gay. Well, if you're not going out on dates and you're not showing any evidence of your world to the contrary, what do you expect? But if you're interacting with and talking to women all the time and you're asking for phone numbers, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better about yourself. You're not going to care so much about the fact that, bottom line is, your brother is not very successful with women. Because if he was, he wouldn't be busting your balls. He'd be wanting to help you out. So it's not your fault that he's a fucking pathetic, weak bitch. It's just the way it is, dude. It's the way you need to look at it. Focus on the things that you can control in your life, which is what you do and what you say. Repetition is a matter of skill. If you want to get really good with women, have lots of options in your life, then practice these things that I talk about, and you'll be fine. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session with yours truly. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.